Everyone, my name is Angelina Jarvila. I am a junior here at the University of Wisconsin-Superior. The last time that I took a science class was my freshman year in college. It was a Bio 101 class, but unfortunately, the professor rather, it was her first semester. So we were all kind of learning together, which was very tragic because I didn't really learn a whole lot in that class, except that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's pretty much it. So the last time that I had a very thorough science class was way back in high school. So I'm really excited about taking this class because I get to learn about those science concepts that maybe I missed out on. And more importantly, I get to learn how to teach them to my future students and the strategies that go along with that. So today I'm going to be presenting my science story for you. So what represents science to me? Well, science is such a broad word. There's so many different types, like physical science, biology, physics, astronomy, chemistry, and so much more. For me personally, I feel like it could be anything in the universe. Living, non-living things, space, planet Earth itself. More than that, science is life. Everything in life involves science. Dropping a pencil in class, like the bottom left-hand photo, or maybe flying in an airplane, drinking water. It all involves science. So for me personally, I'm a visual learner. This means that I need to get hands-on in my learning. Experimentation is something that really helps me when I'm learning in a science classroom. Lecture-style teaching is great in some content areas, but science is one of those content areas that I really struggle with. And I need to have hands-on learning in order to understand the material that's being taught. Now, English, that's pretty easy. I mean, you can read a book and you can take notes and you'd be just fine. Science, it's kind of hard, especially for me. I have to have that hands-on learning. So that has definitely been a challenge for me in the past, especially in my Bio 101 class, because we took a lot of notes, but I didn't really understand the material that she was teaching until we got in the lab and we actually did a lab experiment that involved the material that she was teaching. Experiments help me to feel like I'm exceeding in science, because through experimentation, I have those little aha moments. So, I aspire to be a science teacher that is, first of all, engaging. I want to have conversations with my students and I want to hear their ideas about concepts or their science exploration journeys. And I want to be a patient and observant teacher. What I mean by this is that I know that not every student is going to be on the same learning level. I know that I'm going to have hands-on learners, visual learners, auditory, etc. So I want to be observant with my learners as well. I want to observe which student is what and what helps them to succeed in my classroom. I would like to be a respectable teacher, meaning that I want to be a fun teacher, as I have listed at the end here. I want to be a fun teacher for them, but I also want to be respected because at the end of the day, I am their teacher. I'm not their best friend. And lastly, I'm always learning. As an individual, as a person, we are always learning. Some teachers think that they understand everything that there is to know, and I want to be a teacher who is always learning. I want to be learning with my students, and I'm sure that they can teach me a few things as well. So 2 areas that I feel comfortable in. Integrated skills, meaning that I feel like I could totally put something related to science in a language arts lesson, whether that be the formation of a volcano or whatever that may be. Assessment. I feel like I could accurately assess my students in their learning and in their growth throughout the course. 2 areas that I need to learn more about. Pedagogy, definitely pedagogy. This is one concept that I have a really hard time understanding and grasping. We've talked about this term in different courses throughout my UWS experience, but I still don't really quite understand what this is and how it can be used in education. And instruction. So I could plan all day, I could make lesson plans all day, but when it comes to the actual instruction, I sometimes get a little tongue-tied, as I have been in this little presentation. So I need to be prepared for that, and I don't really have a lot of background with instructing science lessons, so I'm really excited to explore that in this course. Lastly, the term science for all. When I think of the term science for all, I immediately think of inclusion. This means that regardless of your level of education, racial background, gender, socioeconomic status, ethnic background, etc., anyone can learn science and be a part of science exploration. In my opinion, science itself is not discriminatory. So let me tell you a little story. As a middle schooler, I participated in this STEM program at Michigan Technological University in Houghton, Michigan. And at this program, we were introduced to other boys and girls from different schools all over the state of Michigan. And it didn't matter if you were the color purple, you could participate in this program. So we were split up into these teams, and it was such a great experience. I was able to interact with people from diverse cultures and ethnic backgrounds, people from the LGBTQ plus community, all of that. And we were put together on teams, and we learned together as one whole unit. We competed as one whole team, not as individuals. So that, to me, is what Science for All means. And that is something that I would love to take with me to my own classroom. I want to have, which I should have added, I want to have an inclusive classroom for all. And I want children to feel safe in my environment, safe to share their ideas and share their science explorations, share